Yesterday, I published an article on my Substack that talks about moral relativism, which is the idea that there is no truly objective morality in this world, and that morality really depends on where you are and who you are, and that there's no objective metric of what real morality is. And this article explores how you can use moral relativism for personal freedom. And I would make the argument that it is not just necessary that you recognize that morality is more flexible than what modern society wants you to believe, or what strongly religious people want you to believe, but that morality truly doesn't exist in the way we try to make it out to be. So in this video, I want to talk about how understanding morality from this subjective lens is truly important for personal freedom, and how still, despite this idea, there's some grounding truth that we can all find in order, to work with each other and see that we are ultimately interconnected. So this is a more free-form version of the article. You can find the original article in the link below. The way morality is used right now is mainly as a tool for manipulation. Morality is there to tell you that you're a bad person, so you do what other people tell you to do. You feel shame because you are scared of being punished by other people. If you feel ashamed, then you have learned to suppress yourself, to not be honest about what you truly want. This feeling of wanting something and then holding back is this idea that you, for existing, are being selfish. That for some reason, you are owing other people your time, your money, your attention, your care, your love, or any other amount of resources. And you're not supposed to be rude to other people. You need to always be kind. You can never truly tell them your opinion. Unconsciously, you maybe are kinder than you actually feel in the moment, or you smile when you don't really feel like smiling, or you say that you're fine when you're actually not fine, or you live a life where every day you go to a job or career that you hate, or you are around people that you call your friends, but you don't really like them that much. There are so many ways that actually manifests in day-to-day life. And even when you're with nobody and you're just alone in your room, but you have a mind that judges yourself or overthinks about your place in the world, generally it's the case that you struggle with some sense of internal morality or your relationship to morality. Because there are three dimensions to this moral conundrum. Firstly, it's what is good and bad according to your own mind? What is good and bad according to what other people have told you is good or bad, what you then believe for yourself, but it's not actually an authentic belief that you have, it's just something that other people have told you. And then third, what is the objective morality of, like, let's say, the universe in some sense? Like, is there something that is actually good or bad, like a religious God would make you believe? That if you don't behave in the right way, then you might go to hell or some sort. I personally used to be a Christian when I was a kid, and then I moved out of this religious framework, and it was very taxing for myself. It was in puberty, which is generally a taxing time anyway, but to understand that the foundations of right and wrong that I had been growing up with aren't really as set in stone as I thought they would be, made me feel very insecure about everything. It made me feel insecure about myself, about my parents, about the world, and I strongly needed some sort of direction or grounding, and because it also gave me some sense of purpose, then I started to notice, so everybody has their own sense of morality, and then they just say that it has been God-given because it makes them feel very great about themselves, which is, in my eyes, not just a manipulation that we use to control other people, which of course religions have done forever, but a manipulation for your own mind, so that you kind of keep yourself in order and keep yourself in regards to some higher standard. As untrue I think this entire religious paradigm is, like, there's a deeper wisdom that this grasping for some greater good is trying to reach, and I do think this is real, and I'll cover in this video what exactly I mean by that. But here we have this weird conflict, because on one hand we have moral relativism, which says there is no true morality, and on the other hand we have this moral compass that tells us, well, there must be something wrong about murdering other people and then just scamming each other and mistweeting each other. But what really is wrong about that? Like, what is the wrongness really here? And I find that there's a very elegant solution that doesn't require a ton of ethical debates. And it's the grounding truth of our perception. If I take a knife and I cut you with it, you will not like this. Your body will have a sense of morality. It will not like that I've done this to you. And you will react angrily, you will want me to stop, and you will, try to create a society where stuff like this doesn't happen. And I will understand this and not cut you because I don't want you to do the same to me. So why is that? Well, there's inobjectivity here. And the objectivity is the feelings of our body or our perceptions. Suffering and pain are objectively undesirable states or unpreferred states. And once you get a bit out of your ego and you start to see, okay, we are all in this thing we call reality, and we're all in this reality together, and I have not really decided who I am, like I've been born in this body and not in this cat's body or in this other person's body. So somehow we are all in this together, and we seem to be made out of the same stuff, which is, stardust, basically, or atoms. In some way, you can grasp through empathy that it isn't that important who is getting hurt. What is important is that somebody is getting hurt. Because in the quality of the pain itself lies truth. It's objectively the case that being burnt alive, for example, to put a more intense example into the room that I also use in this Substack article. If you're getting burned alive, this is an objectively undesirable state that the universe is in this moment. And the only way we can do such a thing to each other and cause so much suffering is only if we believe in the separation. Like we believe that, okay, this person that is being exposed to a tremendous amount of suffering, and I've decided that this person doesn't deserve to live and he should die in this gruesome way. In a way, I don't believe that this person is real. Like I devalue this person so much because of what he has done, because of my sense of morality or justice, that I have no empathy. I have the opposite of empathy. I think this being deserves this amount of pain. So I've separated myself from this being, act as if it's not real. But if you were in the shoes of this person who is, being tortured, I don't really think the difference matters who is being tortured. At the end, it's just consciousness experiencing undesirable states of being. And this is why we understand intuitively that we want to care for each other and show compassion for each other, because compassion are a sign of higher levels of consciousness, of a higher awareness of what reality is. To think above your individual self, but think about reality as a whole. Then it becomes very intuitive that, extreme suffering just should not exist. It's not a desirable thing to suffer intensely for any being, for any reason. Now, this conflicts with a lot of our senses of justice. Like when we feel that something has been done to us that has been unfair, we usually crave for revenge. Like we want to hurt the other person too in return. And I am certain that this causes much more problems or neurosis than is healthy. But there is a truth to that, right? In that if an individual causes suffering onto another, well, it should understand what the suffering means. It should remember what it means to cause harm to another person. And I think this is where the desire for vengeance comes from. It's to show this being, look what you've done. All this to point out that even if morality is ultimately relative, like there's no real way to say, okay, is it right to abort a baby, or is it right to have an OnlyFans account, or is it right to screw around with a bunch of people, or make jump scare videos so you shock people on the internet for money. Like there's so many ways we can question the morality of a thing where, you are gaining because of the harm you're causing onto other people in some way or another. but is the benefit gained or the freedom worth more? Now, freedom is really the core question here, because you can think about life and morality and existence, and there are good reasons to think that the universe in of itself is somewhat evil, because it does not respect the autonomy of individuals. It doesn't really respect the autonomy of anything, really, because first, everything dies, no matter what you do. And second, sometimes horrible accidents happen, or you get cancer, or something else horribly happens. And as an individual, you think, wow, what an evil universe, what a cruel universe. Why is this being done to me? On the other hand, if it was any other way, if these horrible things weren't possible, what you're doing is you're fundamentally restricting the freedom of the universe. If you make a limit in reality and say, no, this is unacceptable, this should never be possible, like burning somebody, this should not be possible. The fact that this amount of suffering is possible makes it so that existence was a mistake, for example, which is a very nihilistic or doomer thought, which is, something I used to think about a lot. Well, you can think that, but you are attacking something way more fundamental than just the suffering itself. Because think about how much has happened for us to have a body with such a rich nervous system, for us to be able to speak and have all of these experiences and inventions. And beyond our body, the fact that fire exists, we take it for granted, but it's magic, really. It's incredible that any of this works. And in the moment you say, this should not be possible, then you're kind of trying to limit infinity, which, if the universe is infinite and it imagines up all sorts of experiences, then in order to explore what the universe is, well, then it must experience itself in a ton of different forms and ways of being, and cats and ants and dogs, and even awful experiences, because now you have given a place for freedom, for death and suffering and disease and happiness and ice cream. You cannot put a limit onto reality and then get all of its benefits, because it's all way too interconnected. So what this is all really pointing to is that the universe is ultimately free. There's a freedom underlying all of existence. And from this perspective, the universe is truly amoral. It has no intrinsic morality because it has no real self to protect. It doesn't really care about what happens to any individual self, because from the highest perspective, it's all one. It's all one system that explores each other in infinite ways. As long as you see freedom and then say freedom is evil, well, then you will suffer existentially. But you need to recognize first that what you're calling evil is freedom. Like, from this existential foundational perspective, of course, you can see a person lie to another or steal from another, and then also say, well, this is evil, and it's, I guess, a different layer of evil, right? Because now it's applied to an individual with actions. But then again, from this lens that I've constructed here, you can see that, of course, this person is harming another for their own benefit. So in the sense, this person is being evil, but in a very real way, evil is forgetfulness. You're just not understanding the pain you're causing to yourself. You are harming yourself and thinking you are not. And it's funny, because once oneness is realized and no self is realized, now morality becomes kind of this very obvious thing, because if we truly are one, and it doesn't make a difference if I suffer, you suffer, because in some real way, well, it's all me or it's all you, then I'm just hurting myself. Why would I want to hurt myself? We are evolving in our consciousness to include more and more of reality as humans. And we start to empathize with more and more, because we're starting to see each other as one. And this is really what evolution is moving us towards, intentionally or unintentionally. Higher levels of intelligence means higher connectivity to everything, higher awareness of everything is interconnected, and then the identity also becomes intertwined. I am the person who chooses what is right and what is wrong. Like, I can find within me the compass of what matters to me. And then externally, you can see, okay, the universe is a free place. So it is ultimately an amoral place. And we kind of decide the rule here. And we need to see how much can we connect with each other and empathize with each other to make it so that we all are happy. And I know that the world seems to be burning right now, but we have come very, very far. If you look at history, it's incredible that any of this is working at all. It's crazy that we're not always ripping each other's faces out. The human has advanced so much empathetically as well for us to function how we do. And I do think that we can look back and appreciate how far we've come. Like, do you have any idea how far we've come? So I wouldn't underestimate how much we can still do. I wouldn't underestimate how much closer we can all come together. There are a lot of existential blockages that make you not see in the way you're kind of lying to yourself about your own moral compass. Because, of shame you have, because of guilt you experience, because of your religious beliefs that you need to deconstruct, which is very painful. So there's a lot of work to be done to actually find this peace and this freedom underneath. If you found this helpful, then please share this video with somebody who think would need this message. And you can find the link on the Substack for a deeper exploration of this idea in the subscription below.